question time. I'm going to answer this question. The question is, what triggered this present relapse? And didn't you recover? By one of my subscribers. And thank you for the question, because I love getting questions. But, actually I don't. But sometimes, well, no. I just like getting comments that are nice, and questions are something that I really don't mind, and I will try and answer any of them that I feel like I know the answer to, or can maybe give a perspective on, possibly. So, what triggered this particular relapse, because I had an abusive ex twice, and then I had a really bad living situation where I was watching someone mistreat their preteen kids and weren't making them dinner and stuff, and one of them was like slightly overweight because she would just eat like cereal and bread all day, and then the other one was like super skinny, one of the skinniest boys I've ever seen, because he would just play computer games. And just something about that environment made me not want to make food. I don't know, and when I did, I would like give it to them. It was just a very weird situation. But this last time, I would say, I mean, if you've been following all my vlogs, then you'll probably, I guess, somehow glean it out of everything I said, but to the point, I have borderline personality disorder and OCD and general anxiety disorder with a history of panic disorder, but I haven't had a panic attack in a long time. But, you know, and I've had battles with bulimia, and actually my eating disorder started with purging one night when I was 8, I guess. But as far as the anorexia part, this recent time, well, I'm a friendly person in real life, and I had been doing a lot better, and I was kind of excited about my progress, and so I was, you know, finding this new confidence. I was trying not to shun people all the time. I was trying to wear more like feminine clothes. Like, I wore this dress one time without a jacket. At this point, there is no way ever that I could be doing that, but at this time, and it was during the summer, and the maintenance guy had a personality kind of like people back home in North Carolina, like, you know, kind of polite, didn't just talk your ear off, you know, and he would just, you know, work away, just a working man, you know. So I would say, you know, hey, you know, how you doing, chat for like 5 minutes, and then go in my room. Well, over the next few months, because I started going outside to smoke, and it was fine, but then every single time I would go out and smoke, he would, within 2 or 3 minutes, come outside and walk in front of my door, or he would be outside, and I'm like, okay, I really can't be bothered talking to him, you know, because last time he tried to talk to me for 45 minutes, and I kept trying to go inside. Finally, I was just like, look, I have to go inside, you know, and I don't like being firm with people if I can help it, so I like avoiding situations that make me uncomfortable. So then I started going out only at night to smoke, and it would, once or twice, it was fine. But then after about 3 or 4 days of going outside at night to smoke, he would come out again. And so I was like, okay, his schedule has changed. I'm gonna go out in the morning and smoke, and you know, that's when I'll open my door and air out. And about 3 or 4 days later, I would notice he would work all night and then stay up till the morning. And so I'm like, wow, this is really strange. And he would say little comments like, oh, I can see you on the camera, you're not, you know, trying to show off for me, or something like that. Or he's like, oh, I always watch your room to make sure you're safe, this and that. So every time he would catch me, he would slip out a flirtatious comment, and they would get worse and worse, and finally they were like sexual comments and objectifying comments, and he would look at me and like, you know, he said he was gonna F a hooker or something in one of the rooms. And then the week after that, you know, I was talking to the maid, and she like made a toilet paper joke, and I like took the toilet paper, and he just like was staring like, whoa. And he's like, I'm never gonna forget that. And I was just like, wow, I'm so freaked out. And so I was just like, and I walked back to my room, and on the way back to the room, he's like, hey, we really need to have lunch sometime. I'll take you out. We go to a buffet. So I get inside, full anxiety. I'm like, oh my God, this is happening. I'm being stalked. I've been watching this guy. This is really happening. I'm not safe anymore. He's always outside. And I started putting the pieces together, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not even safe. This place is not safe. This place, I don't even want to go outside. So I didn't want to go outside. Meaning I didn't want to go to the grocery store and get food. I would postpone eating as long as I could and try and stay busy. I didn't want to talk on the phone, so I isolated myself because I didn't want him to hear my voice. I didn't want to take a shower because I didn't want to, you know what I mean? All these different things. And eventually they grew into, I wouldn't eat all day. And then, I'm not going to go too deep into the behaviors part of it, but I started eliminating foods. I started only eating this and that. I started, you know, just getting back in my old habits, and exercising all the time and not eating all day. And I started to suffer some of the more negative effects once you start starving yourself, because I can maintain a pretty low weight and eat, you know, with eating the right foods. But this was more about anorexic behaviors starting to come into the forefront. And so I didn't want to eat anything. I didn't want anything in my mouth. I didn't want to go to the store. I didn't, you know, and I would binge here and there and eat something unhealthy, and then unhealthy being like a brand in a package, a preserved thing on a shelf, something you get at the gas station, something that's not organic, basically something that will just add calories, satisfy a craving for like 2 minutes, and then make you more hungry. So it's just bad. And then I started getting into drinking and other coping mechanisms, and then I wasn't able to sleep. Then then I wasn't able to show up at work. I was getting in trouble at work. I was getting in, you know, my parents were worried about me. I wasn't calling them. It was full-blown bad. And so once I realized that the actual behaviors were impairing my life so much that I was now scared to even go and pay my rent. I didn't have money, really. I wasn't managing my money well. I mean, my life had spun out of control. So I decided that it was that guy, the maintenance man, and it was just being there where I was. And I didn't want to say it was where I was staying, and it was that man, because the situation developed, and this is an abusing, predatory, deceptive person, and I'm a very open-hearted person, and just like my Cherokee ancestors, you're either family or enemy. So if you're family, I give you a certain level of trust. So I actually decided that I would never do that again and assume everyone is an enemy except for my family, and you guys are my friends, because through this whole thing you guys were the only ones that were there with me, and you made life livable, actually. So yeah, that is why I relapsed, and now that I'm in this new apartment, I'm noticing my behaviors are getting better, but obviously it's kind of a habitual thing, and every time I get stressed in my life, like today, yesterday, the day before, my brain just does not think about eating. It thinks about doing all these different behaviors, and it starts thinking, oh, well, you'll feel better if you take a really thorough shower, and then after I get out of the shower, it's like, you'll feel better if you have a cigarette, you'll feel better if you have coffee, oh, you need another coffee. Like, it's this like series of compulsive thoughts. So that's what I'm kind of battling right now. So that is the answer to the question, which was, what started your present relapse? And thank you very much for the question. Goodbye.